No, I thought you made a mistake when you said mimosa. I was like, okay, what is he trying to say? What is he talking
What
about?
metaphor is this?
We had an Amish guy come out. He looked at the land and he is getting us prices ready. Two prices, one for block, one for poured, which poured is obviously going to be more. And I'm really leaning toward the guy that can come in and just do everything. I've gotten a lot of recommendations on, I guess, tips, point me in the right direction. Brett, don't let the Amish people do your electric. Just hire that out to somebody else. And I'm like, okay, that's a good tip, I guess. I don't know. I've never done this before. But
I don't think
the
they have either.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. He had to get a
Are
ride
they?
to the site because he didn't have a car. I mean, flip phone. He got a call right in the middle of our meeting out at the site, and I mean, he went from talking to us to talking on the phone and Yiddish, 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 Yiddish. I mean, I had never heard that
German.
quick of a flip uh, to that language before, and you could kind of tell that he had that ability to speak a different language because you can kind of run with that however you want. But just to hear him flip and actually speak it was next
Yeah,
level.
right on.
It was really neat. But we're doing like walkout basement. This guy doesn't do poured walls. He only does block, but block doesn't last as long as poured walls, and it's just crazy. So we're not dropping another dime into this place. I can tell you that because building a house ain't cheap.
Nope.
Yeah, it's going to be serious.
Won't
I
leave
mean,
it alone.
it's not like redoing a bedroom.
Right.
It's absolutely every single thing that you had in your house has to be put into this and new baseboards. Okay, yeah. Fine. We've
So,
done that
so
before. Oh, it has to go on a wall. The walls aren't there. We have to put those in too. Oh, the walls have to go into studs. Those aren't up yet. Okay, the frame of the house isn't even up yet. But it's just like, every single thing from the insulation, you put the wiring through it, what kind of lights are we gonna get? What kind of appliances do we need? And we're like, all this stuff was at our old house when we moved in. What's the deal? We gotta
most
buy
of
all
the
this
things that are
sh
important are stuff that you can't see, and then when it's all done, it's all said and done. Now you're focused on the things you can't see. It's
Yeah.
like we're the first. I don't want to say we're the first ones in. When the drywall's hung, it's like after the drywall finishers, we're like the first ones in to start finishing it.
Yeah.
We're the last ones out, and that touch-up phase, like we almost kind of live at the houses because perfection is not attainable, excellence is. Um, but the sliding scale on where the focus is it just touch ups on new houses. It just goes on and on and on. So, and everything can be found in the weeds. But yeah, I don't know the Amish guy. Are you talking the Amish guy? You're looking at him to build your house or to do work at the house that you guys are in?
No, he's gonna build the house. If we decide to go with him, I've yet to see the numbers, but those are coming quick, I would assume, because he called just yesterday, was asking a couple of more questions, so I know he's working on it. That's good news. But he said starting in September, he can get the frame of the house up in a week and a half.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that
So
was
up on the hill, Mason Hill in Pennsylvania,
okay.
place that you haven't been, but I don't know. When were you there last?
I wasn't.
Yeah, the reunion.
I've never
Your
been to a, no, I haven't. I don't think so.
your mom's never taken you up to the hill? To all
I've
that
been,
property, the Johnson zone?
did we refer to it as the mountains when I
Yeah,
was younger? Okay,
yeah.
yeah, I've been to the mountains. Maybe a
Okay,
couple
yeah.
times, couple times.
So the Amish went up there and they threw up a house. I mean, it was a small house, but literally everything. Wiring, I mean, insulation, not the inside. The inside they did not do. But as far as the exterior, it looked like a house. It was studded, everything inside,
Jeez.
but plumbing, all of it. And they did it in 2 days.
Isn't that nuts?
2 days. They just had everything they needed, took it up. I don't know how, I have no idea how they get it up there because those roads are like, I mean, they're skinny. You
Uh-huh.
meet somebody and they're backing up, you know. I mean, especially with a load, like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, pretty
Wow.
wild.
Yeah, I mean that whole way of living right there. I mean, they have nothing else to worry about ever. That's what they have to worry about, and they don't stop until it's done. And then they're on to the next thing. Like, I
Yep.
mean, what a way to go. I mean, what a way to live. I wake up and like I can barely go to sleep because I got to worry about the stuff I'm doing.
Yeah.
And like, I bet these guys sleep like babies every single night, don't they?
At 13, they have Rumspringer, whether they go in the English world, they're allowed to leave the community. And I think you get one period of your life where you're allowed to leave the Amish community and come back, and that's typically when it is. And I want to say, I say this, I'm no expert on it. I know it. I watched a couple documentaries. Back in the mid 20th century to the through the 80s, the return rate from Rumspringer was maybe like 60-70%, and like modern times, computers, cell phones, everything else, the return rate's like over 90% now. It's like what we have and what the worries we live with are so overwhelming compared to the simple life. So you're right, they are. I mean, success is not happiness, that's for sure.
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
to, I mean, that got thrown at us without really our um say. I mean, it was like, all right, here's a cell phone. You can use this for anything you want ever.
yeah,
Here's a computer. You can do whatever you want on it, no matter what. But
yeah.
when
But
we're
discipline yourself. Make sure you're making the right decisions.
yeah, but when you're thrown into it and you have all of it laying out there in front of you, we were all eased into it and we watched it
Yeah.
progress. I mean,
Yeah.
they're getting thrown into, I mean, the middle of AI and virtual this and virtual that, and they're like, I'm going back right now. And Rumspringer can last as long as they want, right? Until they're sick of it.
I think so. I think until they decide, if they decide to
And then
leave,
they're
I
shunned
actually, hmm
if they
then
leave.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have
Yeah.
no communication at all.
Man, is that something you can jump into? Can you Rumspringer from English land to Amish land and see how you like it, or will they not let you leave?
That
I
would
don't
be,
think
they probably wouldn't because you probably would not want to leave. I mean, that
Right.
community's got to be so tight. Like, I mean, I know they've got their stuff, for sure. The only documentary I saw was a bunch of kids, going out and partying, and
Yeah.
coming back. But no, the reality of the peacefulness of that. I don't know that I'd like to borrow somebody's car, but if that was your nature, you know,
Yeah.
maybe.
It'd be really interesting just to get a peek at it. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think they would let you in because of just what you know from the outside.
Yeah.
I mean, just based on that. I mean, if you were going to jump into that, is it a religion or is it like,
I mean, it's an experience for sure in the religious realm. There's definitely the God feature. I mean, it is
oh
definitely,
yeah,
that I think I don't think I'm not dogging it at all. I'd like to go I'm gonna jack these words up because I just don't know them, but like a monastery,
that seems
I think
right. Yeah.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that where you don't say anything?
Yeah. You're not allowed to, or I just don't think you're allowed to hurt anything. I don't know. That's where monks are, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'd like to do one where you can't say crap. Not specifically, but I mean like anything. And just
Right.
like I got a crap. No. Um Please show me where the bathroom is. Um
You dig a hole
but I
over
mean,
there,
can
Kev.
you imagine that though? I mean, think about the relationship. If you're seeking God, right? If you're seeking him and you're there, I mean, there's nothing but him.
Right.
That'd be pretty far out, you
No
know.
doubt.
Then the challenge would be, do you want to go back home? Uh, yeah, of course you would, but I mean, I'm just saying, man, it'd almost be scary leaving, I'll bet you.
Oh yeah, I bet
Because
getting
of the
thrown back
knowledge
in.
that you get, I mean, literally connecting with the creator. And then, I mean, if that's your goal, and then having to go back out in the world and keep that knowledge of what you know and how humble and how meek but how cared for you are. And, that'd be cool. That would be cool.
No
I might
doubt.
think about that. Might be my next fishing adventure.
You know what I think about is people that are in prison that get out. Like prison for like 35, 40 years, 50
I,
years. They
how
get
could you do that?
They come back out of there. I mean, they pull like well, not like an Andy Dufresne. He escaped from prison, but like
Well, you
Red,
think about like Brooks, the librarian.
oh, right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that wasn't pretty at all. He couldn't handle anything. He said when he was young, he only saw one car in his entire life, and he gets out of prison and everybody's driving. He had never even seen it, and he didn't know that it was happening because he was in prison the whole time. That institutionalization that he was dealing with completely made his brain think that everything was the same that it was when he went in. I mean, you'd have to,
Yeah,
I mean, train your brain to realize that it's going to be crazy different when you get out.
it would take drastic measures. Like the experience of that for like 2 weeks to a month would be great. I mean, it would be an experience. It's like
Prison?
the no, not well, not prison. I was thinking like monastery. It's like, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you know, you can't unsee what you've seen. You can't unexperience what we've experienced. So it take drastic measures to go to something like that. But there, I mean, like let Aaron Rodgers go through that darkness therapy. Then he like get locked up in a not locked up, but like
Right.
by himself in a basically a dark closet for like 2 weeks
Oof.
nonstop. And yeah, one of his. I don't think that was Christ driven. I think that was maybe ayahuasca driven. Who knows? But I don't know. There are
No,
things there are definitely things out there to readjust what matters in life, and I think that's the
Yeah.
intent of all those things, you know. And Amish have it. I think there's a birthright there. I think you could probably visit and probably convert to Mennonite, but again, I don't know the ins and outs of all that. But I don't know. Simplification or simplicity. I mean, there's happiness in that, and definitely where your focus is. That's for sure.
Nick, what's with the cooler?
Oh, well, usually it's transporting water to the guys, but celebrated my daughter's ninth birthday yesterday, and we got some fancy cookies, and
Oh,
never know how many stops I'm going to have between the office and making it back home, even when I take an early day, which I did get to yesterday. So, um, thank you, Kevin and team. But we had a great birthday party. But yeah, so I had these cookies, and I definitely have one customer that she likes to get in the details, and it's very hard for me to exit her house.
oh, really?
So
Like
anyhow,
anybody that talks to you ever?
I have my ways of tightening the reins and managing time. But anyhow, yeah, when I start talking about things, no, I'm very poor at that. If I have something to say, which is usually a lot of nothing. But anyhow, yeah. So the cooler, that big old cooler back there is just for transporting decorated cookies. Make sure they didn't melt before I got them home to who they mattered for the most.
Very cool. Well, happy birthday. Happy 9 years. That's a lot of fun. I got one that's turning 4 in September. We're knocking on 4. I feel like he's been
Yeah,
3. He's been 3 for like 2 years, honestly. The third year would took a long time, I felt.
Yeah. Twos are a lot to go through.
Twos and threes, apparently. I mean,
Yeah.
he made it to 3 fast. But yeah, it's just been, I don't know, we did a lot. You know, we moved and all sorts of stuff. I quit my job, all kinds of stuff. I think that's because I
Yeah.
saw him more. I saw him more. So I didn't
Gotcha.
yeah,
really realize
Makes
how
sense.
quick time was passing. Anyway, we're talking about what we do at home. I edit podcasts, I host one. I do all kinds of stuff, and in the middle and sometimes at the end of the day, we try to figure out what we're going to be doing renovation wise, and the projects stack up. But to kind of get um into your guys' homes and figure out what you're doing, Kevin, I mean, last time I saw it, you were painting a bathroom. You had a full suit on. You had the tape up. You had all the plastic in the doorway and all that going on. So I mean, that's really the last I known about it. Nick, I know you got your exterior painted, but what's going on with your houses?
Yeah, that's there's a lot more to be said to that, but we'll leave all of that aside. But I think we both painted our houses, and I've had we had the bathroom torn up for, well, in disarray for a few years, and then just didn't finish it. It was livable, walkable, you know,
Usable.
sink, toilet, everything good. But I didn't finish the tile around the tub, like the border. I didn't finish the tile into the closet. I didn't refinish the closet or even the doors, the new doors to that bathroom for probably 15 years.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were going to say 15 days. You just got them sitting in
Uh,
boxes in the corner.
You get busy. Well, I mean, we had a closet, we had doors. There was a floor in the closet. I just had not run the tile through there yet. So, I got the baseboard on. I mean, just again, it was livable. You could walk in there and you were walking on all the tile, so it
Mhm.
wasn't horrible. But it probably took 2 years to just get that tile back, finished. We got a project in the backyard. I've got a kind of a water feature that goes from the top of the hill to the bottom. We did it whenever the kids were young. We put some pavers up on the top of the hill, put some lights up on the tree, and I mean, shining to the trees, and had a pretty good little thing going on while the kids were there, but I let that go forever, right? I mean, you couldn't turn the feature on. I mean, and it's got water that goes up the hill and then comes back down, in like a stream. Man, Corey and I really dug into it, and it doesn't leak. It's like it's coming down again. The rocks are almost all in place. Got a couple of sides left to do, but I've got 15 tons of rock at least. I have no idea. I mean, it could be 1 ton. I don't know. But I've got so much rock back there that I mean, I just don't know what to do with it. So the backyard could be stop laughing at me, Swan. Um, the whole backyard could be rocks. I know it could be, but yeah, but trying to make borders and make everything evenly proportioned so that it looks professional instead of like I've been working on it the past 15 years. Yeah, I've got
Whatever. Hey,
steps. You
th-
know,
right. So, I mean, that's cool. I always like those water fixtures. But I mean, talk about maintenance and upkeep. Holy cow. I mean, I wouldn't even want to know what to do with a swimming pool, what you would have to do. But I mean, even with that kind of stuff, you got to keep the moss out of it. I mean, stuff grows in it. You got to keep the weeds out of it and all kinds of stuff.
yeah. Luckily, I've got two mimosas that cover it, so the moss seems to be staying away now, where I didn't have that before. So it was a lot of just green always, and it was what it was. So I didn't care. But yeah, I've got some shade now, so we're looking good there. But there is definitely, I don't know if you know what mimosa leaves are, but they're about this big, and there are gazillions of them. I cut one down that was because they grow like weeds. In fact, your dad told me that. He's like, "You bought a mimosa?" It's like, I could have given you one of those. We tear them up all the time, right? But so I had one that was growing out from underneath the garage,
Yikes.
and I didn't cut it once, and then I thought that might look pretty cool there. But I'll cut it down at some point.
Hmm.
It got so big I had to use a handsaw on it because my pretty good battery operated chainsaw wouldn't go through it. But it was all the way up over the garage, full, full. I mean, just beautiful, hanging over the hot tub. I mean, and gorgeous when it bloomed. But but my gutter is now smashed to the side of the gutter. I mean, like
I
it's,
see.
not collapsed, but the foundation, you can see the board goes curved, from where the tree was. And I waited a little too long.
Yeah, trees don't care what's in the way.
Mm-mm.
By the way, the mimosa that I have is full of champagne and orange juice. Honestly,
Mm.
I had no idea there was a plant called a mimosa or a tree or anything like that.
That's funny. I was like, oh, so it's blooming. It's beautiful right now. And you're like,
Uh-huh.
no, 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 no. Champagne and orange juice, baby.
I'm blooming and I'm beautiful. Look at me go. Give me a refill on
Look
my
at
mimosa.
my
Yeah,
bloomingly flushed face. Yeah, and all that
it's
blood rushing to
Sunday.
my skin. Yeah.
No, I thought you made a mistake when you said mimosa. I was like, okay, what is he trying to say? What is he talking
What
about?
metaphor is this? So out there.
Oh man, Sunday brunch with the mimosa under the mimosa.
Yeah.
What about you,
Yeah.
Nick? What's going on at the house?
Yeah. No metaphors needed here. It's the phrase. Well, actually, this is a metaphor. Cobbler's kid had no shoes. Um, like last place anything gets done really is at our houses. A 3-day project might take a week and a half by the time you're fitting it into meetings and the sports and church and social events and everything else. So it's like we think about the project, think it through, and it's like, does this really need to get started now? Is this now a good time to set up and plastic off this area for potentially 2 to 3 weeks? And the answer is usually no. So to what Kevin was saying about outside, you can leave things a mess outside. You can go out there and piddle and tinker and fit it in. So things get done more outside than they actually do inside. But I love to piddle. Like, so my project right now at my house is not on my house. It's on my pair of cowboy boots that are about 3 years old, and I love how they're broken in. But I'm slightly bow-legged, so the outside of my soles wear down faster, and so I bought this kit to try to rebuild the heels of the boots.
Oh gosh.
And so I am a cobbler right now.
Are you watching YouTube videos and looking on forums and stuff like that to try to get this figured
Oh
out?
yeah, and I'm trying. Yeah, and I have to dam up. I've got to rebuild the sole, so I got to create like a dam like you would on an epoxy job where you need to stop the epoxy from going elsewhere. Except I'm doing it 270 degrees around the heel to try to rebuild the heel and keep the boot level, so the self leveling agent doesn't overcorrect what the heel's supposed to be. And honestly, it is. I'm probably going to get done with the boots and being kind of detail picky as we are, I can tell you that they're not looking like new boots, which wasn't the intent. I just love the leather on them and I love how they're broken in.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to drive me nuts, and I'm probably going to end up buying a new pair of boots. But at least I can say that I tried it, and who knows, maybe we'll turn out great.
I'll tell you what, something that I've been trying to keep up with and match my entire, life. No, I wouldn't say my entire life, but since I've gotten into not having to wear a t-shirt and cargo shorts to my middle school classes is trying to keep up with Kevin and his shoes. I've been trying to match that. This guy's got the shoes.
Who does?
You.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you and your shoe game is untouchable.
It's funny. So, I just was looking around. You got two pair at the front door. I've got a pair by the couch. I've got a pair that are by the other couch. I've got three that are beside the bed on a dresser. I've got, slippers. I've got two more pair over there. And those are just the ones I wear. So,
Right. But I'm talking about like when you're getting dressed up, your daughter's wedding,
yeah. Okay.
church, and
But
then
yeah.
there's those. And those are in like a safe underground, right? Like something
No, but
extreme.
I tried to sell them recently, and you can buy them now half price. I mean, like on those Etsy or whatever thing. So I'm
Yeah.
never going to get the return on them. But I hope I looked super fly at the wedding.
You did. And that was, like I said, I've been trying to chase that down because it's not just the shoes. You got to pick the right pair of pants. Then you got to get the shirt that goes with the pants, and the belt
Oh,
better match the
and
shoes.
then everybody's got to have the same shirt. So I had, yeah. Oh my gosh, it was a mess.
That was a good
I'm
time though.
surprised I didn't get
Those are
You didn't get what?
Nick one of the shirts. Yeah. I mean, everything had to be the same. I mean, I was like, I was obsessed. Worldly crap that does not matter at all. But at the time, you feel like, no, it's absolutely unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's essential. We have to have this. Why? I couldn't think of a world where. Let's
No,
stop
I
talking
get
well.
it.
about
I get it. I
But
get it.
yeah, but on that, it was a fantastic event. Your daughter only gets married once. And if you're a detail oriented guy, then that's how God wired you. See it through. I mean, and then if you got to reflect on maybe anything that you might have overdid, then that's to be learned later. But anyhow, no, it was a gorgeous wedding. It was a blast, man. And you looked fly.
Oh man. I
Oh,
mean,
nice.
there
Look, my little
wasn't.
hair. I noticed every picture. I had a nice little curl in the back sticking up, and
I was gonna say that your daughter's then fiance was the best looking guy there, but I mean, I think you took the
he
cake,
was
brother.
that dude, man alive. They were in this weekend, and we had the pleasure of using some points on a card, and we went to a really nice restaurant and
Hmm.
got some pictures, and I was looking at them the next day, and it's like they are such a sharp couple, together, singly even, but I mean, they just really accentuate. Is that right? The right. I mean, just the flow is unreal. And he is a
Mimosa?
very good looking guy, 6 foot, whatever, you know. I mean, I'm still working on the fear of I'm not going to get that growth spurt that I was looking for, but
Well, if you're scared of heights,
He's
you're at a perfect spot. Yeah.
he's got that 3 letter name too, like Ken, but it's Val.
it's
Like
Val.
Val. That's Val. That's my guy Val over there. Does he do his hair the same way all the time, or was that just for the wedding?
Seemingly, no, that's it. Because
He wakes up like that.
yeah, had it just like that, all gelled up and
Boom.
swooshed. Yeah.
Just shakes his head and just falls into place.
Well, no, it doesn't move.
Yeah, I know.
Listeners, we're all married to women, by the way.
Yeah.
We do appreciate good things, though.
Yeah.
There are
I mean,
great people in the world.
yeah, we chase after it. I'm not ashamed to ever say that I'm chasing a look.
You can
Right.
go back and rewatch a segment and edit it as you need fit. Your face is flushed a little bit. I think mine is too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit. Thinking about Val's hair at that wedding.
So
Damn. See, look at that. Look at that guy's hair. It's shorter than it was at the wedding, but
Yeah.
it's
Well,
still.
it was pretty high right there. I mean, it really was. I mean, it's just that particular angle or whatever. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
What about them home projects, huh?
Oh yeah, home project. We stopped. We're done.
Almost.
We got a mimosa outside we're trying to chop down. And it sucks. There it is. Kevin and Nick, we're officially out of time, down to the last 90 seconds of this podcast. So I want to thank you for coming on, getting off topic like we do. I love it. So thanks so much. And we'll be talking to you next week here on the Ohio Painting Company podcast.